Welcome, survivors of the bear market. Today, we're going to get back to what's important. Looking at crypto and not worrying about if Bitcoin's going to zero. Let's get it. I'm not a financial advisor. We're looking at PYTH. Now, this is a very, 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 very important high IQ section. In PYTH, it's very important. I put this as my number one coin of the year. Very significant. Anybody saying why? Well, it's because I know a lot of stuff you don't know, number one. Number two, we've been talking about some connections it has with Doro Labs. We've been talking about Doro or Doros Labs. I think it's Doro. I put an extra S somewhere sometimes. But the point is we're looking at how it relates to PYTH and the designer behind it. And I can, like, it's one of these things where you haven't ever really seen any pushback against me saying this, but yet you won't find anything active connecting Ondo and PYTH or Ondo and Doro Labs. Well, Ondo and PYTH you do, but not Ondo and Doro Labs. And this is where you just kind of have to understand the way that the world works, the way that the old TradFi and TradCorp, TradBiz, the way that connections, greasing the wheels, the way all that stuff work together to get certain kinds of things going. And I will just tell you that there is a connection between all of these projects. Okay, you look at the logos, you see the logos similar. Centrifuge, there wasn't a connection, but now maybe it's happening. And the thing is that there's a reason why I'm so bullish on this project. It's not just because it's a random. Most people, I would just tell you, okay, most people when they tell you coins they like, it's just because they like their numbers on CoinMarketCap or they take some information from somebody else and they say it's good. This is verifiable. You're going to understand why there is a difference between between PYTH and Chainlink as Oracle projects. Okay. And this idea of, I've always talked about on this channel, which is that Chainlink is not decentralized oracles. It's a lie. That is a lie. It is not decentralized oracles. PYTH is decentralized oracles. Does that matter? Yes. It matters because we need both, actually. We actually need what Chainlink offers, and we need what PYTH offers. And no one has been able to offer, including Chainlink, what PYTH offers. Okay, so let's get into the graphic here. So how does it work? It's a first-party data model, and what does that mean? Does that mean it's some nice young-looking piece of words, piece of a document walking into a party for the first time? No, it doesn't mean that. I don't know if I've ever seen a sexy piece of data. What you have to understand is this is actually the most important thing, okay? The first party data model is the very most important thing here. So when you look at the graphic, you have the first party data model, you have the pull-based system, you have the ultra low latency, okay? You have to understand that all three of those things, they're actually linked together in a sense. If you were to compare this, which we will in a minute, you'll see that it's a completely different system than Chainlink uses. It's a high-speed Oracle network delivering real-time price feeds directly from exchanges, market makers, and trading firms. And we talked about it a little bit yesterday. It's the difference between, here is the difference, okay? It's the difference between me pulling information and verifying it from CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, who have already aggregated it. They've already taken in data sources and price feeds, and they've analyzed it and done all this stuff. They've looked at it, and they said, okay, it's good. Then Chainlink comes in and says, okay, we like this. Cool. You get it? Yeah, cool. But, like, what are the actual prices? Did you actually, and you're just trusting CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko to aggregate the prices for you? And why don't you get an actual source of the price? Like, we're in this technology now where, like, why do you need to, like, everything's like instant, all right? Like, why do you need to go to somebody who's already put it together? Go put it together yourself. I just learned that all the time. That's the best way to do things. And that's what PYTH has done, okay? So when you look at pull-based system, it's just the difference between a pull or a push, which Chainlink is a push, okay? So this is kind of like some coding stuff that I've actually learned about a little bit. I didn't know what pull or push requests were or whatever. But I think if I have this right, A push is when a website sends something to another website or sends data or sends something to something else, kind of on a schedule. It pushes that data every time it hits a certain time point to something else. So that is what Chainlink is. This is a pull-based system, okay? Which means in real time, is it needs to know what the price is. It goes to the actual direct exchange that is trading the value back and forth, that is determining the price, and says, yeah, well, it's crazy. What's the price? And the exchange says, oh, here's literally the price right now at this moment that you need it. That's the difference, okay? That's a push and that's a pull. Then you have the ultra low latency. Now, when we looked at yields the other day, I think, didn't we look at yields on the show? I think it's an inverse relationship, okay? When treasury yields go up, it means economy go down. When treasury yields come down, it means the economy is going up and doing well, okay? This is also an inverse relationship like that, okay? So when you see here, it says ultra low latency, okay? It's ultra low latency. That means it's an extremely low amount of time that it takes it to do things. So you should think of it like this, like ultra low latency is actually very fast, right? And then very high latency, it takes it a long time. And so it just works in an inverse way. So when it's low, it means the speed is high. When it's high, it means the speed is low. Latency means time delay. So let's think about it. Instead of latency, let's normalize it. The time delay, okay? We don't have to get nerd on it. I wish I didn't know these words. It means it's an ultra low time delay. It's super fast, okay? So why are these things important with PYTH? Well, it's essential for DeFi because you need things right now in this second. You need price to be stable. You need all the information right now. Why? Because of all of the TradFi integration, the RWAs coming over the tokenizing of the assets, algorithmic trading, it must be that way. PYTH works on over 80 blockchains, while Chainlink is really focused on Ethereum and Solana mainly, okay? PYTH is going to bring institutional quality data to Web3, okay? And you also have to know that not only are they connecting directly to things like exchanges to get price feeds, okay? PYTH directly connects to the institutions. How do you think they did that? How do you think they directly connect to the institutions? Because they are the institutions. They know all the people. And that's it. They came from TradFi. They know all the people. They're all coming. Okay? So that's why it's so important and so big. This coin is going to be significant the same way I was telling you that SWE was going to be significant a year and a half ago. So what I want to do right now, actually, is I want to pull up this other graphic that we have here. And this graphic is the difference between Chainlink and PYTH, okay? So this is a decentralized network of oracles on the left and a first-party data oracle or a decentralized oracle on the right with PYTH, okay? So Chainlink, off-chain oracle selection, the data aggregation reduces reliance on single sources, right? So they use data aggregation from third parties in order to make sure they're not getting reliance on one source, but they're forgetting it'd be better to just plug into all the sources directly, right? So oracles reach consensus on data before posting on chain. And then some of the, we'll look at the bubbles on the right side. We'll take them bubbles first, and then we'll go with the other points here. Focuses on first-party data providers, just like we talked about. Pull-based model, we already went over that. Smart contracts verify data as needed in real time. So a smart contract in real time verifies the data. Doesn't need to do it beforehand. So moving on to the left side with some of the points here. Data validation occurs before on-chain reporting with Chainlink. So they go through the process and they verify it first, and then they put it on. At PYTH, it's faster. They're verifying as it's going on. See the difference? PYTH aggregates directly from first-party sources, minimizing intermediaries, which means minimizing speed or maximizing speed, minimizing time, minimizing latency. Broader smart contract integrations, finance, insurance, and gaming. These are some of the applications for Chainlink. For PYTH, high-frequency trading, DeFi applications. They need real-time market data. And here is what you find. Okay, here's what you see. Okay, why this is all so important. Because you need both. You have to have both. You have to have a Bitcoin and an Ethereum. Okay, you have to have an XRP and money. Sorry. You have to have Chainlink and you have to have PYTH. You've got to have both of these options. Why? Because the institutional degen Chainlink just isn't fast enough for them. It's not fast enough. They need stuff in real time. They're dealing with millions and billions of dollars. And these people are moving massive amounts of money. The ability to keep a price stable with liquidity while you're doing a $100 billion transaction is of optimum importance. And that's what TradFi was waiting for to come here into TradeFi. So you have to understand that what are these two things we're talking about? What are we really talking? When we're saying we need two things, why are you saying we need two? We need a McDonald's, we need a Burger King? No. I'm not saying we need competitors for the sake of competitorship. But I will argue that's really good in crypto. I would argue some of the projects that have the least amount of competitors in their space, they've hit ceilings and just sat there. VeChain being one of them, and chain tracking. You know, they're layer 1 now and all this stuff. They've had to do all that stuff because they didn't really have any competitors. They absorbed some of them, but it's just a space that people weren't thinking was sexy. Okay. Oracle's Chainlink has been the same way. Chainlink has not had anyone push it. No one is. Now there were some attempts, Teller banned protocol back in the last bull run. None of those actually pushed Chainlink. But now PYTH is coming to push Chainlink, and that is good. That is not why we need both. Why we need both? Here's what we have. We're back to what you'll learn about in the Bitboy BootCamp is known as the blockchain trilemma. Okay, you have security, you have scalability, okay, and you have decentralization. That's it. Secure scalability and decentralization. But the thing is, with Chainlink, and PYTH, what you're looking at here is you're looking at the blockchain trilemma not being solved in motion. That's what you're looking at. Chainlink, killer for security. But if you want to arbitrage trade on the 15-second chart, good luck using Chainlink. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. And where are the most degenerate people in the world? They're all over in the derivatives world, which is 80% of all the money in the world, or whatever it is like that. It's crazy. There's almost, like, liquid money for sure, but there's almost, I believe, 4 times as much fake money in the world as real money in the derivatives market. And there's no way to even quantify it, because now that DeFi has came in, I think that number is multiple X'd, actually. Now, anything that was fake money that was tradable for institutions is now tradable for people. Yay! And that number is probably 5X. We probably are looking at 10 times as much fake money as real money with this transition into TradeFi. We're talking serious institutional degenerates that are doing this derivative stuff. It's a lot of money, okay? Sam Bankman-Fried, that's how he got rich. He made all his money was on arbitrage trading in South Korea. Okay, that's what they were doing over there. The point is that we've not solved this. If you need security, you need Chainlink. If you need speed and real-time data directly from the source in the financial world, you have to have PYTH. You have to have PYTH. It's the only one that will manage those types of transactions in the way they need to be managed. PYTH is the only answer for DeFi. It's the only answer for DeFi.